Thank you for the follow. Milwaukee Ellison. We're fairly close to, I think, 750 followers on Twitch. If you're watching through YouTube, uh, subscribe there as well. We're trying to reach monetization. I never got a thanks for my follow. What the post? Yeah, you don't deserve one. Here, let me. I'm not talking that loud, but my input gain's at 100. I can't really. I think that's just a skill issue on your part. I'm not gonna lie. Turn the volume up. We're starting momentarily. Top three prediction for quality. I heard Zach was fast. I'm not gonna lie, but this whole grid is just absolutely new to me. Like everything here is very alien. I'm not gonna lie. I heard Galaxy Cat was doing good as well. We could see Zach, possibly Galaxy Cat, Jam Boy up there. Parker had a really good performance yesterday in Tier 3. We might see him near the top. NASCAR fan as well, back from last season, but I'm not sure. I think that's Nava in there. Yeah, it's Naba and McLaren. McLaren forced to be reckoned with again this season. Naba and Harry. We were just waiting on, I think, one more person, and then we should be getting started. I feel like Latifi. Yeah, you probably will be Latifi. Harry plucks his pubes. Thank you, Burger Town. This is why your heart's stuck tier 2. Actually, it might be tier 3 starting next week. There it is, full grid. So the first race this season in CRF2. New points, by the way, new point system. New points total. So, thank you for follow, Lewis. Let's actually move on over. Let's check it out. So the grid, a little different this season. It's not going to give you a lot of time to check it out, but if you saw that, that was the grid. I've not used the new intro because I don't have access to the new intro, Inertia. I just told you this in the staff server that I don't have access to the Google Drive. So I still have the old logo and there's no intro. So I do quite like the this new like sidebar or whatever you call it. Yeah, but ratio. So it looks like Possibly. I think the track is still dry at the moment. Um, but very cloudy. That could change any moment now. No one yet to come out of the pits yet. We have subtitled as well. Subtitled could be on the front couple of rows. The World Constructors Championship with Ferrari last season back at the Tifosi. He was completely not carried by his teammate, and he's completely not going to get carried by his teammate again this season. Zach, tier 1 racer last season, took 20, 30 odd points in the championship, but could not find himself a seat. And all right, yeah, it was just a glitch. Just wanted to let you know. I don't know. My mic's always had an issue with being um quiet, but to on my end it looks fine. In my end it is usually fine. I've turned the audio input up to 2 times what it should be at, and like I'm when I'm talking, I'm going into the yellow and the red on Streamlabs. So let's take a look at some of the cars. We have Harry and Jack is the first one. Jack taking P2 in the Haas yesterday in Tier 3, 14 points for him. He's going to be the first to lead an outlap. And the quicker these cars get out of the pits, the better you might need to have gain tier input. Yeah, but I'm on Logitech and my input gain's on full. I can't. I really can't do anything. Maybe I don't know, the noise reduction might be too high or whatever, but Harry behind him as well. Harry did good in that McLaren last season, back in the McLaren this season. That orange livery, very nice. My favorite cars actually this year is the Mercedes. His former teammate, uh, Jamboy in the Mercedes, he got himself invalidated. The okay, yeah, then that's a bit of a game skill issue. It does say Q1, but it's short quality. It's not full quality. We could possibly do full quality, but I think with a full grid, we might be able to experiment with that. A lot of cars starting their hot laps. There's going to be a lot of traffic here. Actually, Jack's got the best chance of setting a fast time. That's a 24-2 from the Haas. Blistering pace on his first lap. A yellow flag in sector 1. That's going to be a Ferrari. That is not Zach. That's going to be Sub. Already in the gravel, like his brother Carlos Sainz, and almost everybody out of the pits here. Only Daros Vop and Alexis Beast and HPR Tomo in the pits still. Those 3 cars. 50.3 sector 2 for Jack, obviously. Another purple sector. He's going to be the one to set a benchmark. There's a couple cars right behind him as well. It's a Mercedes. I think that could be Plus Ultra. Oh, no, that's Jamboy. Sorry. Plus Ultra about to cross the Sector 2 line. And Jack is going to come around the final bend with a 1:16.3. That's going to be the benchmark. That's going to be the time to set here. Let's take a look at Jamboy. Jamboy about to cross the line. Looks like he's going to steal provisional pole with a 1:15.6. But Zach with a 1:15 flat steals a Galaxy Cat with a 1:15.2, takes P2. And Harry takes P5. Burgertown takes P4, all in the 16s there. George Maycock P7 with a 16.5, and a lot of people crossing the line. Plus Ultra with a 17.4. Church ends up behind him with a slow 18.9. Wimpy Nick in the Williams takes P2. Look at these, a lot of cars bunched up there, a lot of dirty air. Could be ruining a lot of people's races. You can really see in the top half of that mini map there. And United takes P4 in the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo had a bad season last year. Parker, P7, the man who sat on pole yesterday and took the win. Galaxy Cat with a 5-place grid position penalty for a collision with Subtitled. subtitled Yet to Set a Lap Time. Zach, his teammate, currently on pole, sub with a 24-2, Sector 1, making his way to the Charles Leclerc chicane with a 50.6. I think that's a bit faster than around about the time that Jack was. We know subtitled is rather fast on his day, and a lot of people going back into the pits, Zach into the pits as well, and to Mercedes look like they're going to be in the pits as well. Red Bull went off the track ahead of Sub, and it's going to give him a little bit of tow down to the line. Sub is going to be P8. That's a 1:16.2, just a bit faster than Jack. 1/10 ahead of Harry, 1/10 behind Parker. Let's take a look at Nava. Nava was very competitive in the first half of the season, and it looks like he is still competitive as he takes P4 with a 1:15.4. And Alfa Romeo about to cross the line. He's on his outlap though, and that is an Alpine as well. I think he is going into the pits. So Tomo on his outlap here. NASCAR actually, I think on a hot lap right now could be an in lap though. Looks a bit slow compared to everyone else. It's going to be a 52.7. This could be an in lap. 2.5 seconds down on a couple of the other drivers. Sadnias, yeah, in the Aston Martin with a 24.3 Sector 1. It'll be a 50.51 flat Sector 2. That's going to land him near the back of the grid. Connor, P12, in the AlphaTauri with a 1:16.549. Only 5 drivers yet to set a time. NASCAR fan has gone into the pits. Tomo says starting his first hot lap of the day. Alexis Beast also on a hot lap at the moment. Sadnias is about to cross the line. It will be P14 for Sadnias with a 16.9. Alexis Beast rounding these next couple of corners down to the Sector 2 timing line. You guys are new to the stream, by the way. I can see we have 25 viewers right now, 53.3. That's not going to be fast at all for Alexis Beast. He'll find himself at the back of the grid. Make sure to follow if you guys haven't already. CRF1 is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting race. Whole new season, whole new game, and all the drivers are ready to get underway with that. Alexis Beast rounding the last corner. Will he elect to pit? He stays out. 11 minutes remaining of qualifying. He's going to round the last bend, 1:19.5, just shy of the pace of Church. There goes Vop out on a hot lap as well. Tomo with a 49.5. Actually, in the Alfa Romeo here, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as he rounds the last bend, really pushing that car to its fullest extent as he crosses the line. Will it be provisional pole? Almost missing out by 1/10 of a second. He takes his spot on the second row. There goes Vop with a 25.1 Sector 1. That's a bit slower than those like Jack, but it'll be a 51.3. He'll find himself near the back of the grid, but he will be faster than some of the stragglers at the end, like that AlphaTauri. The graphics on this game are just incredible. If you don't have F123 yet, it is such an upgrade compared to F122. As the Aston Martin crosses the line, it will be P16, 15th, and 16th for the two Astons. Not great for them. NASCAR fan, the only one yet to set a time. He saves it to the end most times for qualifying. Zach actually out on a hot lap right now, down 2/10 compared to his last time. But Alexis Beast, the man who is sitting at the back of the grid here in the AlphaTauri, takes provisional pole by 1/10 of a second compared to Zach. I guess he must have just had a bit of a screw up there as Zach invalidates his time. Tomo on an in-lap. Galaxy Cat just about to start his hot lap. Jamboy a couple tenths off the pace in the Mercedes. He's got a bit of clean air. There's the AlphaTauri ahead of him. I think that's going to be Alexis Beast. And his Sector 1 time is going to be a 24.2. So down 1.5 tenths. That's not great. Yellow first sector. The AlphaTauri is going to let him move out of the way. Galaxy Cat down 300ths of a second. So not as much of a deficit that he needs to make up. No way people have done hot laps while harvesting. I mean, you really on these you can't really harvest in these quality sessions. I don't know. Is it a visual glitch that the harvest lights are on? I think it probably is. Galaxy Cat up 1.5 tenths through sector 2. The chicane can be very crazy. Burger Town is out of the session if you even touch the edge of that chicane. You could get your lap invalidated. Galaxy Cat rounds the final corner. Now it's just a mad dash to the line, and it looks like he'd have to overcorrect there a little bit out of the exit of that corner. Will he be able to improve? You're damn right, as the Alpine finds himself on provisional pole, and CRF2 is getting taken over. 114.7 for Galaxy Cat. That's a very fast time, and we knew he was capable of this kind of stuff from the first time that he joined the server. He was bragging about his 13.9. I was telling him to go piss off. Plus Ultra up to P9, so the Mercedes is in a much better position now. 115.800 for him. Harry down to P11. Is he going to cross the line? He has crossed the line already. So Harry um not not doing too great. You can know your sourcing. Yeah, but I mean, if you think of it like that, then that just means that the harvesting lights are on like in the corners. Because I mean, I don't know about you. I don't use my overtake in like hairpins and stuff. I'll turn it back on the exit of the corners, but so Parker actually, I think he's on a hot lap right now. Up 5 tenths through sector 2, but he's going slowly now. Sub title sits in P14. That's a disappointment for him. Wimpy Nick out on a hot lap as well. So Parker now up 1.5 tenths as he rounds the hairpin. Harry. No, it's the other McLaren. That's going to be Nava right behind him. Nava down to P6, but still not bad at all. Wimpy Nick up 700ths of a second. He'll need to improve by a bit more than that through this last sector if he wants to take provisional pole, but that much time will be enough to steal P3 from the Ferrari of Zach as he is crossing the line. It will be P2 for Wimpy Nick, and he just misses out on P1 by 300ths of a second. 6 minutes remaining of qualifying. We are 2/3 of the way done. Burger Town. Never mind, he just left this session. Harry takes P6 with a 115.4, so the McLarens are 6 and 7 now, which bumps the Mercedes down to 9 and 10, and the Red Bull is down to 11 and 12. Parker has gotten his lap time invalidated. He was up 3/10 of a second. That would have been enough for P10, but he did end up getting himself invalidated. Starting a new lap down 800ths of a second. Obviously, he's gotten older tires now. He stopped his previous lap, but he crosses the sector 2 timing line, and he's now up 4/10 of a second. That'll be good enough for P10 again, but I'm sure he has more time left in sector 3. Oh, then I have no idea. I'm not sure then. Sub pushing towards the finish line, and no, he's gone into the pits, so maybe not good enough for him there. Parker actually up 300ths of a second. I'm not sure if this is the same tires that he was on. Zach still in the pits. We haven't seen much of him. Wimpy Nick about to go pit as well. And I just missed how much he was up by. And a couple cars out on track, but still a relatively wide open, uh, clean, about as clean as it gets. Parker pushing to the line. What will he be able to achieve? It'll be a 15.7, and that will be P10 to split the Mercedes right down the middle. And Alpine looking like one of the better teams today, P1 and P10. HPR Tomo, he was once on provisional pole. Now he's on another hot lap sitting in P5. This is a very competitive session. About to cross the sector 2 line, looking very fast. Not fast enough. Still down 200ths of a second. He'll need to make up almost 2/10 if he wants to jump the Ferrari ahead. HPR Tomo rounding the penultimate corner. and really skirting with the edge there as he almost spins on the exit of that corner, and he's going to elect to pit so he can put on another set of softs and go back out. There goes Swap on a hot lap as well, but he's down 5/10 of a second. And Burgertown down to P15, so a lot of people have actually improved. There goes Swap up to P10, Satanaz up to P14, and Sub down to P16. He's on an outlap now, but we know he has a lot more talent than this. And Zach on an outlap as well. Let's watch him, because if anyone is going to challenge for pole, it's going to be this man right here in the Ferrari. Yellow is in sector 1, that's subtitled. And Zach's going to need to put his all into this qualifying lap if he wants to secure pole position here in Tier 2 and possibly even a move back up to Tier 1. I'm sure that's going to be his goal for this season. Through the first chicane he goes. He looks like he's flying at the moment, but there is a lot of traffic ahead. He just passed that Haas there. That's Church. There's going to be an Alpine ahead of him. That could possibly be, that's not Galaxy Cat. And he's up 800ths of a second. He's in the 23s, a purple first sector. There's an Alfa Romeo ahead of him. I think that is Tomo. No, that's going to be United. One more corner down to the sector 2 timing line. And it is a 49.5, yet another purple sector. Everything looking perfect for Zach now, and he'll need to find a bit more time in this sector, and it is his teammate that ultimately might have just ended his qualifying session, and he's got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Subtitled there. I'm not sure what Subtitled was doing, but Zach almost spun, and then he collided with his teammate. Zach is going to be furious about that. I mean, I would too if I was him. Alexis about to start his hot lap as well. Wimpy Nick finishing his out lap, and a Galaxy Cat on an out lap as well, I believe. 1 minute remaining of qualifying. Who's on a hot lap now? Nava with a 23.9. That's the fastest first sector we've seen, other than possibly Zach's earlier. The McLaren on a flying lap. There's two Mercedes with a Haas in between, right ahead of him. Very close together. And he clips the curves a little bit. That could have slowed him down. And he's going to cross the sector 2 timing line. And he's lost a bit of time through sector 2, sorry. 10 seconds remaining of qualifying. It is a mad dash down to the line. There's a Haas off the track there. Doesn't look like he's going to make it to the line. Nava looks like he'll have time to set another lap if he can. And he makes up 0.3 of a second. He's going to break into the 14s. 14.999. That'll be P4 for Nava. And he's going to retire. Alexis about to cross the line now. He was up 0.1 of a second through sector 2. If he found enough time, no, doesn't look like it. He's going to go into the pits. Wimpy Nick follows him in as well. And Galaxy Cat has gone and validated Tomo, the only one on a hot lap, but I think he's gone invalidated too. Harry out on a lap sub, making it up to P9 with a 1:15.6. Harry and Plus Ultra, the only ones out on a lap right now, but Plus Ultra, I think, on an in lap now. Harry, he's got a relatively fast sector 1 and a sector 2 too. He's up 0.2. That could land him in P6 or P7. Parker in P7 at the moment, probably the man he's looking to jump. He's going to get a tow from the Red Bull ahead. That's going to be George Maycock. George Maycock also needs to make it to the line. Harry rounds the last corner, and what will it be? And oh, he collides with the Red Bull, and he loses his front, and the Red Bull intentionally hitting him, and that'll be a 5-place grid penalty for him, and that's qualifying over, and that's an incredibly controversial end to qualifying. I don't think there's really anyone who's going to be happy here other than the top three who made it out of this qualifying scot-free. Yeah, I didn't mean to rhyme that, but no, wait, Galaxy Cat also with a 5-place grid penalty. I agree. What the was that? So, all right, that's crazy. I wish Zach the best of luck when he has to put in the results today. Actually, I don't. He can go jump off the bridge. For Twitch purposes, though, I was joking. That was a joke, and for legal purposes. So 4 people picking up grid penalties, and I mean most of them were deserved. I think Zach's probably yelling at subtitled already. Yeah, jeez. I'm sorry, I just need to invite someone. Jeez. Oh, wait a minute. There's no formation lap? Alright, well, whatever. At this point, it doesn't matter. Alright, so subtitled and Galaxy Cat are out. Um, Wimpy Nick in the lead of the Grand Prix. United with a 5-second time penalty. Harry up to P2, Tomo in P3, Alexis Beast down to P4. Yeah, this is the newest game out. Yeah, I agree. This is an incredibly common tier 2L. I'm not even gonna lie. Jamboy up to P8. Jack actually with a really good start here. He's probably the biggest winner of lap 1 up to P9. And now he's pressing Jamboy ahead using a bit of the slipstream to make his way up, but unable to make an overtake there. Wimpy Nick with the fastest lap, but Harry steals it right back from him. And then Zach down to P5 now. He takes it right back on the hard compound tire. And actually, there's something going on here. Tomo up to P3 now, making a pass on the straight. Zach getting very close to the Alpha Tauri of Alexis Beast ahead, but unable to make a move yet. possibly into this hairpin turn, but he looks to be too far back. And Alexis sending it up the inside, and there's contact there. Zach almost spins out, and he's going to lose a bit of time there to Nava now. Nava behind could possibly make an overtake, and Nava's gaining time. He's going to try to go side by side, but Zach's not going to allow it. He's not having any of it. And Alexis speaks back up on the podium positions after a little touch there with Tomo. Nava breaking a lot later into that turn than Zach. And Nava now fighting for P5, and Tomo breaking really late, forcing Zach to go wide. And now they're too wide down this straight. Zach and Tomo. Tomo down to P6, actually. Nava up to P5. He's lost out 2 positions because of that error under braking. Zach back up to his original starting position of P4. Yellows in sector 3 there. That's going to be a Haas off the track. I believe that is Church. And there it is, a safety car because of an incident. And it's going to be a full safety car. And let's see if anyone elects to pit at the end of this lap. It is very early, but a lot of people and a lot of teams are calling for a restart. Harry at the moment in the lead of the race. Wimpy Nick down to P3. Not exactly sure what's happened. And Tomo's actually Percy's boyfriend, I'm not going to lie. And Zach being, what's the word for it? I forgot the word for it, but he's being a dickhead as usual. Everybody looks like they're going to stay out at the moment, unless there's anyone with massive damage issues that need to be repaired. Doesn't look like anyone's going into pits. That Haas in the pits, though. That's Jack. He was up to P7, actually. 2 Red Bulls are going to jump him, move up to 7, 8. There goes swap to 2. Aston Martin staying out as well. Looks like possibly Jack was the only one who's affected by this, and the 2 Mercedes down to 16th and 17th through this collision. The Haas up to 13 and 14. Connor's also going to the pits, so Jack coming out behind his Haas teammate. Nope, he's going to come out behind his Mercedes compatriot Jamboy. So that Mercedes is going to split the 2 Haas's. Connor into the pits, then Plus Ultra into the pits, who I'm so weird. We hear has spun out, and he's down to P18 now. United, who done good in the qualifying, is now down to P17 with a penalty, plus the Ultra picking up a 5-second time penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane, which is, I hate those time penalties, but 32 laps of chaos, 27 remain. Oh, and the reason Jamboy's so low down, he pitted last lap. Or we restart? Oh, we are restarting. Zach's not being an idiot. Let's go. What a surprise. What a good surprise. Zach's not being an idiot. We'll be back shortly. don't miss the start. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Walking Fridge. I missed that, I think. But yeah, thanks for the follow. I went from P17 to P9, bro. Yeah, you were in P7 at one point. I went from P17. What do you mean there is street? You idiot, Jack. Oh no. Yeah, I forgot to add my mic to the intermission. My bad, guys. My bad. My bad. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we might actually have a normal overlay now. Let's see. Uh And it's lights out, and away we go here. Wimpy Nick takes an early lead of the race. NASCAR fan down to P17. He had a really wayward start there. Harry up into P2. Tomo in P3 now, possibly move into turn one. Harry trying it around the outside in the McLaren, and they've come together. Wimpy Nick down to P3, and Harry takes the lead of this race as Tomo's up into P2. I think they might touch there, and Jack into the wall. There is virtual safety car. And Jack just absolutely binned it into the wall. It's only going to be a 35% race because we'd already raced the first 6 laps of the original race. Jamboy up to P11. Sub up to P7 in the Ferrari. Ferrari looking much better than last race. And the Haas's are looking absolutely abysmal at the moment. VSC conditions. And maybe that'll give me enough time to slip this thing in here. I really hope. Yes, yes, yes. Get out of here. Adios. Delete. So I think there it is. We have green flags. We're back underway. Just really need to put this in the bottom. All right, there we go. Perfect, perfect. Look at that. Look at those sponsors go round and round. Never mind, never mind. We're still in our virtual safety car. BSCs are a bit longer this year. We've already gone a lap under the BSC. Into the pits, Parker, Connor, Galaxy Cat, Zach, Jamboy United. All of them possibly, and Plus Ultra, all of them possibly sustaining wing damage. Why did it delete itself? Oh, there, I forgot to loop it, didn't I? Okay, there we go. It should stay now. Stay. Bad boy. It is going to be Tomo, who leads our restart, our VSC restart Durgo spot. There goes your grid position. He was in P7. Now he's going to have a drive-through penalty. And we've been under the VSC conditions now for almost 2 laps, lap and a half at least. Will we transition to a full safety car? No, we will not, as they say that the green flags are out. And Church in the last second receiving a drive-through penalty. He was up to P11 now. That is going to be possibly down to the back of the grid, if not just down at least a couple of positions. Tomo with a good restart. Alexis Beast with an even better restart. He's going to pull alongside the McLaren of Harry now, and he's going to make the overtake for P2 as Sub takes the fastest lap on the mediums with a 28.2. Burgertown takes it on the softs, and it is going to be Alexis Beast who's on the front row now, or the second step of the podium, and he's going to be hunting down Tomo now. Look at that. He's already closed the gap down to 2:10s. He is looking very fast, and they've almost come together here. Not sure he's going to be able to try and overtake into this hairpin section. He won't. But still putting on the pressure with a purple sector one. Wimpy Nick down to P4, sub down to P5. But Wimpy Nick putting the pressure on Harry. Harry, who was in the lead of the race just a lap ago, is now down in P3 at risk of losing out on a podium. Look at this. Wimpy Nick absolutely gaining on him. Could possibly make a move here. I think he's a bit too far back for the move into chicane, braking early to avoid a collision. The gap there still 3/10 though, as Harry falls behind Alexis Beast, and this could mean he won't have DRS. 9/10 the gap, but it looks like Alexis Beast is pulling away, and without the DRS ahead, he will be vulnerable to the attacks of Wimpy Nick, possibly down this back straight. Nick dumping his overtake and gaining on Harry, but Harry's going to have the DRS, and it's going to be a mad dash down to turn one, and it looks like the Williams is faster. It's going to be an Alpine to come out of the pits, and it will be Nick who takes P3, and Harry trying to fight back, but unable to do so. Harry with a lot more overtake than Nick. Nick's going to use his overtake. He's going to dump in order to defend. And Sub using a bit of this chaos to gain now 3.5 back to Harry, and he's going to pull alongside Harry actually into this turn, possibly trying to switch back into the hairpin. Zach with the fastest lap. Now he's made his way up to P10 after overtaking Durgosvop, who has gone into the pit lane to serve his penalty. And Sub now up to P4. This race not good for Harry at all. He's lost now 5 positions in the span of 3 laps. And Sub going really wide there. That's going to be a warning, most likely, for him. Not receiving a time penalty for that, but we know Subtitled is the master of time penalties. He's actually kept his pace with Nick, and he's going to have DRS down this back straight here. Nick's not going to get the rear wing open. Too far back to Alexis Beast. And Tomo, at the moment, absolutely running away with this. Didn't have the best qualifying pace, but absolutely blisteringly fast. And I don't know how much longer Wimpy Nick can stay in P3 at the moment. Sub looking very fast, but they both have depleted almost all of their overtake reserves, while Harry still has more than enough. He's gone almost a little bit wide there into the gravel, but he's maintained his speed through the corner. Caution, it's yellow flags in Sector 3, and Connor's DRS, that's a Connor's DNF. That's going to be a full safety car. So that could shake this up. And Harry pulling alongside, subtitled there. They've come together. That could be damage for the McLaren. That's going to be reviewed after this race, most certainly. And Tomo, I don't think he's going to be really the happiest chap, because his 2.8-second gap that he's built up now is almost completely gone. And he's going to elect to stay out of the pits. What about the people behind him? Alexis, he's going to go into the pits. So let's take a look at the strategies. A lot of different strategies here. And a lot of people on the softs, a lot of people on the hards, not too many on the mediums. Sub's going to inherit P2, and Alexis Beeson is going to lose grid position in order to pit for the hards. That's going to be his pit stop strategy done. Wimpy Nick electing to go for a soft. That is a questionable decision. Sadniaz going for the mediums. That could be the plan here. Either that or the hards, depending on if you can pull out 16 laps on mediums. Maycock as well. But Zach and Durgosvop on the softs. Durgosvop actually just about to pull into his pit box. He's going to go for the mediums. That should work for him. And Church coming into the pits, which means Plus Ultra gains track position on the hards. I think he's possibly done with his pit stop strategy as well. So Tomo in the lead of the safety car restart on those mediums. Sub right behind him, but I think he's a bit faster than Sub. And has he disconnected? It looks like Tomo is disconnected. At least that's what it says. By the way, Lucid, I don't know if you how much you keep up with um like the F1 games themselves or whatever, but this year there's a new race like distance added, and that distance is 35%. That's the one that we're on right now. Tier 3 and Tier 4 use that for their races, but uh before previously it was 25 and 50 only of the real race distance, 25, 50, and 100 race distance, and now 35 was added. So it actually makes it a bit easier to do restarts because, for example, in the old game, if you've gone maybe 7 or 8 laps in 50% race, uh, and you would have to restart, you have to make the decision to do those 7 or 8 laps over again or skip out on a lot of laps. But this way, it gives you a nice little alternative in the middle. And as a fun fact, now that it's lap 7, we've spent 35% of the race under a VSC or a safety car. Tier 2 for you. And the Mercedes in P7 and P9 now, after the round of pit stops, so they're going to have a bit of a problem with their tires near the end. They're going to be pushing 20 laps, of course, some of them under a safety car and a VSC, but the strain on the tires is still going to be there. You can see trying to handle the car ever so gently. And safety car is in this lap. Tomo is going to have to do a good job of getting away here because Alexis Beast and Harry can now be shoo-ins for the win of the race. Tomo obviously got blisteringly fast-paced on these mediums, but with the strategy split, this is going to be a very interesting mid to end of the race. So we are now about 35% of the way done with the 35% of the race, and Tomo getting followed closely by Sub. Sub falling back a bit there. Tomo still warming his tires now on the main straight, and it looks like he's gone away fairly good here. He's gained about 2/10 on the restart. NASCAR fan with a 5-second time penalty for a dangerous collision with Dergo Swap. And Sub gaining a bit of time, but it won't be enough. 5/10 the gap into turn 1, and Tomo has gone away well enough to maintain the lead. Yellow flags in sector 1. It's Burgertown with a 5-second time penalty. Plus Ultra down to P10. Jamboy down to P8. Wimpy Nick up to P7. Zach's gained 6 positions off the restart. Up to P9 for the Ferrari. Galaxy Cat up to P11. Sadnias up to P5. Jordan Maycock and Harry staying in the same position. Jamboy and Zach fighting now. Let's take a look at this. Jamboy, oh, Zach's gone off into the gravel. Zach's now going to lose a couple of positions. Down to P10, down to P11, down to P12. Getting overtaken by the Aston Martin of Dergo Swap. And plus the Ultra around the outside. Dergo Swap fighting him for the position in the points. But it looks like the Mercedes is just about going to stay ahead there. You can see the Alpine ahead of him. And plus the Ultra retains his position in P10. Jamboy with a 3-second time penalty. He's going to be the first one to pick up. No, it's sub 2 and Alexis Beast. So Tomo is going to be rather happy about this. Alexis Beast down to P5. He's binned it into the Charles Leclerc chicane. And he's down to P7, down to P8, losing positions rapidly. And he's reset to the grid, which is not allowed anymore. And that's going to be an issue because the Alpine there collided with him. Plus the Ultra going to go around the outside. Takes P9 from Alexis Beast. So does Zach. And Zach's off into the gravel here. There's going to be another caution in Sector 3. And Zach's just losing positions left and right now. And he's going to, I think he's picked up wing damage. He's going to probably go into the pits. I mean, that could very well be a safety car. Alexis Beast with a 5-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. He's got into the pits. And he's retired in the pits. Tomo in P1. Harry behind him in P2 on the better compound tire. Oh, Sadnias into a podium position. And he's fighting with George Maycock for P3. And they've touched there into the hairpin. And Tomo already 4.2 seconds ahead of Harry. Might just be enough to win this with his pace alone. And Sadnias cutting corners left and right here. George Maycock, I've touched. George Maycock and Sadnias have came together there. Wimpy Nick in P5. George Maycock maybe trying a move into the chicane, and he's gone very wide there. Sadnias picks up a 3-second time penalty. Wimpy Nick could possibly make a move now here or down the back straight. Yep, I agree. This is actually, this is kind of nice. I get to hear the it's like a radio, driver radio. So down to P6. Take a look at this Jamboy. Jamboy now down to P10. I'm not sure what's happened there. He's gonna teammate as Plus Ultra comes together with an Alpine there. I think that's Parker. Parker's been lapped now a bit. Both Alpha Tauris are retired. This is a belter of a race. There goes Swap with a 5-second time penalty as well. There goes your points. Yeah, I really like making puns with his name. It's rather funny. And now it's the battle. It's a silver arrow. Battle of the silver arrows. Except instead of for P1, it's now for P9. How Mercedes have fallen off. Plus the Ultra putting the pressure on his teammate Jamboy. As Wimpy Nick makes his way up to P4, you'd think it's only a matter of time before he makes his way up to P3. And George Maycock with a 3-second time penalty. Zach with a very dangerous overtake on Plus the Ultra there. He's made the move work. He's going to send it down the inside of the chicane there. And they've touched and they've gone into the barrier. And there goes Zach. That's going to have to be at least a virtual safety car there. Jamboy just absolutely demolishing Plus Zach. I don't know what you were expecting. I mean, you made your way into tier 2 because clearly you either suck or you're not fast enough for tier 1. So Galaxy Cat spinning in that chicane. So he's gonna lose a couple positions. Yellow flag out for that incident. Now Wimpy Nick putting the pressure on Harry. Harry with a 3-second time penalty. 4 multiple warnings through that chicane there. And it looks like Nick has gotten the better exit out of that turn. He's going to send a lunge down the inside of this final corner. And he's going to take P2 from Harry. Now, when is Tomo going to pit? He stayed out for yet another lap. Galaxy Cat with a 3-second time penalty. Wimpy Nick 6 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo, and it looks like Harry has used his DRS in order to take the position back. George Maycock still fighting for a podium position even with his time penalty. And Nick trying it around the outside of this hairpin. It looks like he took the position there for a second, but Harry has regained the position. And Harry going wide. And George Maycock actually with a better exit out of that corner now. Looked like he was too wide with the Williams there for a second. As Wimpy Nick following through the corner. Sadnias down to P5. Yellow flags in Sector 1. That's a Mercedes going slow. That's Plus Ultra. He's just come out of the pits there. He's going to have to pit for a new set of mediums, which he finds himself in P14. Now, Wimpy Nick, there's going to be a bit of a DRS train forming here that Harry is going to be in the lead of. But it looks like he's staying in P3 at the moment. Nick gaining on him, trying a move around the outside into turn 1. They've gone too wide, but Nick comes out in the lead. They're going to go too wide through the chicane. Nick backs off a little. It's a high-speed chicane. Very narrow, and Nick down the inside. This is just an endless battle. Incessant. And Tomo benefiting the most around the outside goes Wimpy Nick to keep the position. And these guys are relentless. And a bit of oversteer from Harry there, allowing Wimpy Nick to pull ahead. 8/10 the gap now. Tomo has gone into the pits, so Wimpy Nick is going to inherit the lead of the race. I think almost for certain his pit stop strategy is done, but he's going to have an issue with these remaining 8 laps. It's going to be hard for him to maintain those mediums, especially with Harry pushing behind now and Harry having to back off into turn one. Sadnias falling back a bit. George Maycock still in P3 though. And Tomo has come out in P6 and he's elected to go for the softs with 8 laps remaining. He's going to come out behind his teammate. 4 seconds behind his teammate United, who's 11 seconds behind Sadnias. And now Harry's fallen back to P3 actually. Jamboy has DNF'd into the first turn. Let's take a look at what happened. Looks like he's just gone off the track, possibly a spin, as NASCAR fan inherits P9 from the Mercedes. And George Maycock in the Red Bull is in P2 now, but he's had a little bit of a struggle through the chicane there. He's going to have to correct himself. And Harry gaining with a better exit out of the chicane could possibly be sending a lunge down the inside of the penultimate corner here. Harry up to P2 without much struggle, but now they're too wide through this last bend here, and their wheels are touching. Who's going to get DRS? Who's going to get their rear wing open? If it is Harry, it is Harry, and Sadnias gets his rear wing open as well. And Wimpy Nick has pulled away from them, but Harry back in the lead of the bunch, and he's actually pulled away by 3 seconds. That's a fairly large margin, and Sadnias into a podium position now as he's jumped George Maycock. George Maycock maybe trying a move on the Aston into the hairpin turn, but the Aston has better traction and actually even a better exit than Harry out of that turn, gaining a bit of distance. Tomo with a 3-second time penalty. That could very well end his hopes of winning the race. Can the Red Bull of George Maycock down the inside? If they come together there, and the Aston is going to have to back off, but that's possibly also going to get reviewed. George Maycock does take the position, and he takes the position off of Harry as well. And Harry possibly trying to switch back. He does pull it off, and Sadnias benefiting from that a bit. He's caught up 3/10 the gap. These three are very close together, and they're forming a boundary really for Tomo. And Wimpy Nick just pulling away. Looks like the Williams is going to win the race. Harry now the sitting duck here as Maycock and Sadnias with their rear wings open, but they don't look fast enough. Maybe Maycock into turn one, but no. It is the McLaren who stays ahead with 7 laps remaining of this race. United going into the pits after a 10-lap stint on the mediums. He's not going to have it. George Maycock. Well, what's happened here now? Oh, Sadnias into the gravel. He's going to reset the track, and Tomo takes P4. That's going to be good for him, but still rather far behind George Maycock, who's rather far behind Harry, who's rather far behind Wimpy Nick. So 13 seconds, I think, to Wimpy Nick he has, and then he'd have to build up a 3-second gap to um, go against the time penalty that he has. Let's take a look at these guys here. Oh, and Galaxy Cat and Dergo Swap coming together, and he goes into the gravel. And plus the Ultra here up to P11 now on these new compound tires compared to the 14-lap old ones of Galaxy Cat ahead. Could possibly make a move. Galaxy Cat was very fast, took provisional pole in qualifying, then served a 5-place grid penalty. Now plus the Ultra with a good exit out of the hairpin turn, gaining 0.05 of a second. And look at that, much better traction from the Mercedes, and he's not going to make a move into this turn, maybe into the chicane next turn. Alpine's not doing very well this race, but it looks like Plus Ultra's just a bit too far back to make a move on Galaxy Cat. There goes Swap with a 3-second time penalty, and Plus Ultra trying it around the outside of the Alpine. He's got into the gravel a little bit, has to overcorrect there, and he's collided with Galaxy Cat. Bit of a spin. I'm not sure if Galaxy Cat spun as well or he was just caught in the crossfire, but he spun again there. Oh, almost into the wall. Burger Town makes the overtake, and as Plus Ultra moves into the points, and unless there's going to be a safety car, I think that's the best he's going to be able to accomplish this race. 19 seconds ahead to NASCAR fan. Uh, I don't know if any of them had planned on pitting. Church, Sadnias, all of them with 11 lap or mediums. Let's take a look at this now. Tomo's caught up relatively well, actually, to George Maycock. 6 seconds in almost 3 laps. Sorry. He's going to get his rear wing open, and it looks like he might not pass George Maycock as he backs off from a possible collision there. Through these two high-speed chicanes they go, and George Maycock looks like he's taking P2 from Harry. They go side by side, but Harry retains P2, and it is actually Tomo with a much better grip. He's lost a bit of time ahead to Wimpy Nick, and Wimpy Nick, rest assured, I think he's going to win this race no matter what. But Tomo now back up to P2, and it's going to be Harry and George Maycock set out to fight for the last of the podium positions. George Maycock 3/10 back on the McLaren, not going to be able to make a move into these two turns, but probably going to take the place down the main straight. Actually, Harry's gotten a fairly good exit, but it is going to be the rear wing open for the Red Bull. 4/10 the gap, and I think he's going to be able to hold on to it. Harry looks like he's held on to the position, and he's fighting off attacks from the Red Bull behind, and George Maycock with less ERS. But Harry, into the wall, and that's the end of his race for George Maycock with 4 laps to go. He's gone into the wall, and it's going to be Sadnias who inherits P4 from 15 seconds back, and a spin and a bin right into the wall. That's going to end the Red Bull's race, and he was on for at least a P4, but he's not going to be able to complete this race as he has DNF'd. NASCAR fans going to take P7. Church is going to take P8. Take a look at the fastest lap now. Tomo with a very fast lap. I think the fastest of the race at the moment. Zach obviously with the fastest race, but he has since DNF'd. Let's take a look. Can anyone possibly break it anytime soon? Doesn't look like it. Tomo's not really pushing, but he is using his overtake. Sorry, he is really pushing. United also with a 16-7, and no one even close unless anyone decides to pit in order to try and take the fastest lap. Tomo 6.2 seconds back, and his softs are expiring. It wasn't he. He has a really fast pace at this circuit, but I think his strategy sort of let him down there. But it's a tough decision to make early on in the race. Early safety car. Are you going to give up track position for the essentially free pit stop? And he decided no. 2 laps of the race remaining, and the gap is 8.5 with the time penalty included. Maybe he would have had a better shot if he did not pick up those 3 seconds. Or maybe if Wimpy Nick picks up a 3-second time penalty, but it seems unlikely. So actually, let's take a look at the race director. Is it likely for him to pick it up? Jeez. Looking for Williams. NASCAR fan, no. Jesus. Yep, no. He has 0 warnings at the moment, so it looks very unlikely. Sub with a 3-second time penalty sits currently in P5 and now might miss out on P5 due to his amount of time penalties. United making the overtake on Sub. Not that he wasn't going to finish behind him anyway, but Sadnia is now down to P5 because of his time penalties. As we have 1.5 laps remaining. Plus, Ultra would have to gain 10 seconds to the car ahead if he wants to take P8. And Tomo now actually cutting the gap down to 3.1 ahead with 1 lap remaining. But there is also a lapped car ahead of him that's slowing him down. It slowed him down massively. That's Burgertown he's had to lap. And that cost him probably a tenth or two there. But at least he's gotten the rear wing open. And it looks like all but a lost cause for Wimpy Nick, who in the Williams complaining about the restart, but it looks like he hasn't complained enough. United overtaking Sadnias. It's going to be a great race for Alfa Romeo, picking up a buttload of points here. And Wimpy Nick, his first race for CRF2. I mean, usually more than 10 drivers finish the CRF2 races. There's usually a shit ton of DNFs, but when you have a full grid, there's usually 13 or 14 that finish. In the Williams, made the bold strategy decision to go into the pits yellows in sector 1. That's United. He's spun. And that's the commentator's curse right there. He's still going to end up taking possibly P. He's going to take P6, maybe P5, though. Galaxy Cat with a 3-second time penalty. And for Williams, it's going to be Wimpy Nick, who wins here at the San Marino Grand Prix. And he crosses the line. He's fended off the attacks. He's overtaken Harry, Sadnias, and George Maycock as well. They had some really good battles that they shared, but at the end, it was Tomo's strategy that let him down. And Wimpy Nick wins the San Marino Grand Prix for Williams. Tomo takes P2. Harry takes P3. It's going to be Sadnias who takes P4 ahead of Subby due to the time penalties. And United picking up some more penalties, meaning that he is going to stick to his original P6. Parker with a 5-second time penalty for an unserved previous overtaking penalty. Sanyas P4 and the Aston Martin, some big points for them. United takes P6, Sub takes P5. NASCAR fan is going to take P7, then Church behind, then Plus Ultra. Everyone else has already taken the checkered flag as a lapped car. Church rounding the last bend here, and Plus the Ultra a couple of seconds back. He's going to pick up the last of the points for Mercedes. Not the last. Burgertown picks up the last of the points. He's going to pick up 2 points for Mercedes with his teammate DNFing, and he's going to finish the race with no front wing. What a soldier. There is your race, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish. Not a great race. Apparently, driver of the day, Plus Ultra. You know what? I endorse that. Whatever. I'll endorse that. There is your podium. This looks like if the podium was reversed in real life. Like 2022 season, Williams, Aston, and McLaren arguably the worst cars on the grid last season. Now they share the podium. And Sadnias showcasing his great race pace. I think I'm going to have to give my driver of the day to him. Plus the Ultra with a close second. United with a good race as well. But I think just Sagna's maybe his spin. I don't know. Sagna's or plus the ultra. If you guys want to share it, be my guess. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for YT stupid ass. He's going to be casting tier 1. God no. I'm already scared. Williams is going to take a 1-2, by the way. Just like here, Williams won. Williams won this race. They're going to win next race, too, in CRF1. Because I'm the best team principal there is on planet Earth. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to come back tomorrow.